Hi there, it's Jamie Blair. For my Vlog 2 assignment, I'm going to discuss 4 drills, 2 of which are drills relating to linear speed, and the remaining 2 will be associated with agility-based movement. The athletes demonstrating these drills will be limited by either their physical capacity or by their ability to perform the skill. The first athlete being assessed will be accelerating from a 2-point staggered start. Starting sprints like this with a low centre of mass are used to link speed and agility based skills. To be more specific, this athlete, being a field sport athlete, would not be very versatile moving around the pitch in this position. However, we can accelerate better from positions such as this with a low centre of mass, hence the utilisation of the drill. The athlete will now perform the speed drill. As the athlete projects himself forward, he immediately lifts the sternum and sends through the hips, which is mechanics more relevant to top-end mechanics, in contrast to the acceleration which is trying to be achieved using this drill. The exit angle of the athlete is determined by a lack of horizontal force. The application of horizontal force is particularly important during acceleration as it is indicative of the torso and shin angle. These 2 contributing factors allow for greater force to be sent down and behind the athlete to send them forward, while building speed. However, due to a lack of force available to the athlete, he could not maintain the appropriate angles to accumulate or maximise speed. When the athlete hits a taller posture during max speed, it is a key signal that the athlete can no longer accelerate, and it is all about maintaining the speed which was built. The lack of forces that are available for this athlete will be problematic for their speed development, for they have only travelled a very short distance before reaching top speed, in comparison to other athletes that may have the opportunity and the physical capacities to build speed over longer distances. Strength development should be a key focus in the athlete's next programme, with the prescription of appropriate exercises such as squat, deadlift and clean, and progress should be monitored using max testing, squat jumps, 5 metre and 10 metre sprints, and video analysis. The A-skip is a speed drill which is used to help build specific strength within the foot and ankle complex as well as the hip flexors. However, with this athlete, I'm going to take a closer look at how the drill is performed and how it is limiting the adaptations in the foot and ankle complex. A key influence in sprint performance is how force is processed through the foot and ankle. Therefore, it is important that the way in which the athlete demonstrates this skill is adjusted. As you can see, when the athlete's foot makes contact with the ground, it is flat. This technique is not optimal for this drill, as it does not develop the elastic qualities in the Achilles, nor does it strengthen the plantar flexors, which is important during sprint performance. Making contact with a flat foot can sometimes be a result of a foot being sent too far out in front of the hip, which can cause the heel to strike the ground first. However, in this case, I'm going to pay closer attention to the location of the back foot in relation to the contact point of the front. When the front foot comes into contact with the floor, the back foot has been left on the ground. This eliminates airtime and means that the front foot is making contact with the floor a little too far in front of the centre of mass. This issue can cause technical problems similar to what I mentioned previously with the hip. This athlete is performing the drill with more fluency. As previously mentioned, I'm going to pay attention to the location of the back foot in relation to the contact point of the front foot. It is clear that the back foot has left the ground and is being sent past the supporting leg to drive the knee. This has enhanced airtime, again altering the centre of mass, so that by the time the front foot is going to make contact with the floor, it can be done so being closer to the centre of mass. This means that it is easier to ensure the initial contact point of the foot is the front, which will help develop the elastic qualities of the foot and ankle, and better contribute to processing force more efficiently. Now that the first athlete has worked on improving their ability to coordinate this drill, there is a slight lift in the back foot as the front foot makes contact with the ground. This means that the front foot will make contact with the ground closer to the alignment of the hip and allow for greater emphasis to be placed on the front foot and create a better use of the springs in the foot and ankle. By performing this skill better, we can enhance the physical qualities to develop speed. Now to discuss limitations with athletes performing agility drills. When an athlete changes direction laterally, a way in which they can better use the force they are producing to enhance braking, they can position their foot sufficiently wider than the knee and hip. As you can see here, the athlete performing this change of direction drill is performing the drill with a relatively narrow stance. This means that because the foot is fairly close to the centre of mass, it is more challenging to overcome the momentum that was built during acceleration. The athlete was then coached to adjust the position of the foot in relation to the hip and knee. Having a wider stance allowed the athlete to maximize the produced force and create more instant braking. The wider foot also allowed for a greater lean in the torso position. Therefore, instead of changing direction with a fairly upright torso, the athlete was now able to lean into the opposite direction than was previously intended. Not only does this adjustment in the skill enhance braking forces, but it puts the athlete into a better position for accelerating, therefore improving two characteristics which are pivotal in agility. Commonly, athletes that have excellent agility can organise their body to direct forces for the required sports-related tasks. Small adjustments such as manipulating the foot position can be beneficial when it comes to improving overall movement strategies. A crucial element to change of direction and agility is the ability to decelerate. The more instant that we can apply the brakes, the longer we can sprint at top speeds. This is critical for athletes that are constantly chopping and changing directions. Here we have a common deceleration drill. The athlete will build up speed in an attempt to fully stop on the red cone. A capacity that can limit an athlete's ability to decelerate is eccentric strength of the lower body, more specifically within the single leg. This is the limitation of this particular athlete and is the reason he doesn't come to a full stop until he is well past the red cone. When approaching the cone, the athlete begins to utilise appropriate deceleration mechanics by sending the hips back, keeping the chest forward, and by creating a negative shin angle. Here we have a regression where the athlete is now intending to come to a complete stop at the yellow cone. Again, employing the correct mechanics, the athlete stops past the cone. If the athlete wants to fully decelerate in the desired location, exercises such as leg snap downs or single leg landings from a box can be beneficial, as well as a number of single leg squatting movements. The athlete could bring themselves to a complete stop on the cone by decelerating before a certain point. However, developing greater unilateral eccentric leg strength will also allow them to run higher speeds for longer, in addition to more instant braking, thereby being a more effective strategy for improving overall agility related performance. And that concludes this video. Beginning with linear speed, I discussed why a lack of horizontal forces can limit sprint performance. I also mentioned the importance of speed drills and why performing these skills correctly is fundamental to overall speed development. Foot placement and lateral change of direction can be beneficial to maximise force and overcome momentum. And finally, how a lack of single leg eccentric strength can limit deceleration. Thank you for watching.